Mike Schramke with Larry Stove Sand Equipment. Got a few more questions and answers, hopefully good answers, and let's go. Barney 1941 says, Mike, I see a video of a TYM T413 from Europe. It has a self-leveling loader on a 40 horsepower midframe. Can they be added to the American TYM? No, and the reason is most loaders are manufactured closer to where the final product will be. For example, Australian tractors typically have a company in Australia that makes the loaders. And I bring up Australia because it seems like all of their tractors have 4-in-1 buckets, which are cool as well. But no, that is something that's kind of unique to the TYMs in Europe. Artillery Buff 2000 says, "Oh, my local dealer here in Arizona wants $37,000 for the exact same tractor." That was it was a tractor I'm advertising for $31,900. Well, I'm kind of glad to hear that. Thank you for thank you for saying it. This is yesterday. I did a video short, less than 2 minutes. I just walked through the showroom and showed that almost no one is here. We've got 7 people out with COVID, so it's been busy. I've been busier than, as they say, a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. Roger says, have an impromptu company picnic and declare yourself the winner of the 3-legged race. Not bad advice. Thank you very much. Ridge Runner says, Kioti makes as good a tractor as you can buy. I've owned several of them. Well, thank you. More of a comment than a question. I appreciate that kind of comment. Another comment from Glock's Rock, #1. Just purchased a Kioti from Jonathan today. Great guy to work with. Jonathan Gunn, he's speaking of, at the Murfreesboro store. And that was very kind of you to say. Jonathan is a good guy. I would dispute Glock's Rock because, let's face it, Glocks, yes, I know they fire under any circumstances, and they don't break. They always, when you pull the trigger, something dramatic happens. There's never any surprises. But would you not agree that a Glock is as ugly as an old man's butt? Yeah, they are. I've Beretta fan myself, not as good a gun, but boy, are those Italian guns are sexy, gotta say. But thank you for the comment. Oh, this one is kind of weird. Swedish Psychopath 8795 watched my video on the Kioti K9 side-by-side cab, which is brand new, climate-controlled cab. And his well thought out comment was, too loud and looks skimpy. Better stick to my Kubota. Why did they use thin metal in the frame? Looks like tin can material. Well, thank you for your well thought out and obviously well researched comments. The Kubota, fine product as it is, and it is. I would never have a problem with somebody that has had Kubotas their whole life and they have good service out of them to buying another one. I get that. But thin metal, no, I don't think so. In fact, I looked it up. The Kioti weighs 154 pounds more than the Kubota. So negative there. Nay, Mr. Swedish Psychopath. But thank you for playing, right? Here's an interesting one. I wonder why Kioti dropped the PTO rating to 38.9 on the DK4520. That's an excellent question. Ever since I've been a Kioti dealer, that the DK is rated at like 44.9 gross horsepower and then 41 point something for net horsepower. And it's always been a bragging point. I say, this tractor only loses 3 or 4 horsepower, and I didn't look up the exact, but very minimal horsepower. And I still believe that to be true because I see that it says that on the factory website, but then on my documentation, my spec sheets, it still has the old number. But that is a good question, and I will endeavor to find out more about that. I don't know if it was a misprint or if I just don't know. Barney 1941. I'm so glad we sold this to Barney. I'm so glad I got a TYMT 494 with mechanical fuel injection. Them there Coupe J engines are smooth and quiet, and I tell everybody that. I do. While the Yanmar is a fine engine, it is loud and has a ton of computers and sensors. I agree with that. That is a true statement. The Yanmar is a fine engine, but it is louder and it does have a ton of sensors. So then he goes on, does some other funny stuff. Happy holidays, Mr. Mike. Good guy. So thank you. I like that. That's a very nice comment. Wendell Scott 2618 says, so you don't like Mahindra? That goes back to a joke. Whenever I made a video, this one in particular, Beginner's Guide to Trailering a Tractor, I was using chains to bind it down, and I put some cardboard insulators where the chain went around the loader so as not to scratch paint. And I said, take care of this. It's a nice tractor, not a Mahindra. It's an inside joke that goes with a guy that I used to work with years ago who is a Mahindra dealer. In fact, my first job in the tractor business was selling Mahindras. And so that's I'm sure we watch each other's videos. So that was a little inside joke I often do to him. No, they're okay. Wouldn't be my first choice, obviously. I've got a couple of first choices. It beats a mule, that's for sure. Again, I guess referring to my video yesterday where everybody in the store is sick. It says, does TYM have COVID? Still waiting to see the 115 and 130. That's as close to a reason for not having the machines as I've seen, because I have heard nothing on why are they not here. Henry Hamster 01. Thanks for the video. Any chance you have a tractor where you could do some front loader work? Going to the pile, scooping, backing out with a shuttle. That'd be great to see what gears you use when you clutch. Then does the tractor almost stall? Does the tractor almost stall cause resistance, or do you clutch before then? That was a video in reference to a video I did. Some love for the often ignored manual transmission. Great idea. And yes, a lot of people think that a hydrostat, well, I'm going to do a lot of loader work, so I want a hydrostat. And that's cool, and that's true to some degree. But also, there's advantages to using a manual transmission as well when you're doing loader work. It seems that you can always put it down into the lowest possible gear instead of high, medium, and low. You'll have a minimum of 9 gears or 8 gears, and sometimes 12, 24, 36, whatever. So you can add a lot of RPMs, but go very slow, so the machine becomes just a solid torque monster. And I will. That's a great idea. I love suggestions on videos. Thank you very much. Here's a good question. This was a video I did on the TYM 5835. It says, what can $35,000 buy? That's a loaded tractor. It's got power shuttle, electronic 3-point. It's a heavy hitter that is very reasonably priced. It says, Working Dirt says, nice info. Can you tell me if the 3-point has down pressure? I'm assuming it does if it is electronically controlled. I have a special application. It would be useful. No. It does have draft control. And for those of you that don't know what draft control is, smaller tractors do not have draft control typically. When you lower your box scraper, say to the ground, and you start scraping and filling it up, when it meets enough resistance, the box scraper will start to rise. And I assume on the smaller tractors, it's to protect the tractor. Something has to give. On the larger tractors, certainly like this one and many others, they have draft control to where you can adjust how much resistance you want on that box scraper to keep it from coming up, but you can't. It doesn't force down. All of these are gravity down, and if it has draft control, you could set it to add resistance or to completely add resistance to where it will not move at all. And that's what draft control is, and that's what this tractor has. Thank you, Working Dirt. That's an excellent question. I love technical questions. This guy, Jack of Zero Trade 631, Mike, your videos are the best. I only have one issue. You don't have enough new ones. That's true. That is my 2024 New Year's resolution is to put more content out there. In fact, the next thing I'm going to do is each tractor series, I'm going to introduce the tractor to as if you never saw it before, because there are people that are looking for a 40 horsepower tractor and they're going through YouTube looking for videos. And while I assume everybody knows what a CK 4020 is or something like that, that's not true. And I want a video that said, okay, this is a 40 horsepower tractor. It weighs 4,011 pounds. This is best used with 5 and 6 foot implements. And the person that buys this tractor generally has uh, uh, 10 to 25 acres that they don't actually ground engage farm, but they do have some horses and they want to put hay out. And give each tractor series a walk around and who typically buys this machine and what it's best at and what it's not best at. And I was talking to some of the guys here, and they said, "Well, yeah, but if you do that, there's a lot of people that'll watch the video and you'll turn them onto a Kioti and they'll go buy it somewhere else." And well, yeah, I mean, I can't help that. And I would rather be a flag waver for the brand, not just Kioti, but I'll do them on TYMs as well. And while I hope people give us a chance at their business, I certainly understand that, I'm not going to sell everybody that sees the video a tractor. Ronald Dean, you have a great dealership. Now, if you can get enough people, well, to keep you going, it would be great. And that's true. Everybody's sick. It would be nice to have a video taking a tour of the dealership. I wish you were in Virginia. I like Virginia. I like Tennessee better, but Virginia is a wonderful state. My wife and I vacationed there 2 years ago. We just drove around and looked at all of what it had to offer, and it's a state that's rich in history, and I liked it. Thank you for the comment. Ah, again, as far as not having anyone working here, it says at Texas 2 Sturgis. So I'm gonna use my context clues here and say that this gentleman or lady lives in Texas and likes to ride his Harley to Sturgis. I'll bet I'm right. And he says, "Don't worry, those Kioti tractors sell themselves." Don't tell anybody our secret, but yeah, they kind of do. Oh, Orchard Hill. This one's great. He says, "Wow, can I relate to this?" Again, with everybody being out with COVID. The nicest family of people that are great friends of mine in Massachusetts. They own a Kioti dealership and they do real well. And I can say that, if you're in and around their neck of the woods, they are a good dealership to do business with. Super, super nice people. This person, I did an in-depth dive on an RX 7320, and those are 45-minute videos. Thoroughly enjoyed this long video. Just bought a 7320 from a local dealer. Okay, yeah, and that goes back to what I said, which is fine. But learned a thing or two from you here. Would love to learn more about the 7340 coming out. How did you even know that? Joe Walton, 6772. I hope to get up to your store as soon as ours is very small. You do a great job, Mike. Keep it up. And a little bit on and on he goes. And yes, the next new tractor that Kioti will introduce will be the 7340. It's hard to believe, but the RX series, the RX 6620 and the RX 7320, if I'm not mistaken, are now the oldest tractors in the Kioti fleet. They're about 7 years old, if I had to, and I'm going to be close. And that makes it the oldest tractor, and time for an update. And yeah, the working name is 7340. Don't know anything about it. They'll still have the same engine offering, I'm certain, and it'll just be a freshened, and maybe it'll have some more stuff. And maybe I'm just saying stuff I don't know anything about, which is true because I've never seen one, and it's a while yet before it gets here. Swedish Psychopath, 8795. Kioti should sell like Tesla, directly to the customer, but unlike Tesla, have a competent fleet of mechanics that comes directly to your farm to service or fix the tractor. I'm willing to bet the price would be at least $10,000 lower if the reseller is avoided. And yeah, no. they're never going to do that, because if Tesla has made it work, they'd be the first company, and we'll see how it goes in the long run. We'll see how it goes for them. But for example, if you bought another car, if you bought a Ford or a Toyota or whatever, it's all the manufacturers have recognized the fact that the manufacturer and dealer relationship is beneficial to both, because as Swedish Psychopath said, but unlike Tesla, have a competent fleet of mechanics that comes ready. As if Tesla is going to have a bunch of guys standing near their service trucks with wrenches in hand, just waiting for the phone to ring. And that's what doesn't happen. But that is close to what happens when you have a competent dealership. When somebody hands over 30, 40, 80, $100,000 to me, and the phone rings because something is wrong, who is going to care more than me? I assure you, no one. And and that leads me to something else. If you're shopping for a tractor, anything that costs this much money, these are expensive. Everything we sell is expensive. Everything everybody sells is expensive. It's the person that you hand the money to. Even if you finance, you're still handing the money. The bank is sending that dealership $30,000 or $80,000 or whatever. So they're all cash deals to us. Either you pay cash or the bank sends us a check. And so when I receive somebody's money, and it's a bunch, as I said, none of these are cheap. It should be a bond. It should be a commitment. It should be a commitment to the customer that you care, and that you're not going to forget who paid your. Yeah, here. When somebody buys a tractor from me, they get a postcard like this. It says from Mike's desk, and thank you and whatever, and it mentions who to call if the tractor's broken, or if you need to, whatever, have it serviced. You have a question, need a part, whatever. And the last paragraph says, and if any of my people aren't holding up your situation to the standards that I require, here's my personal cell phone number, and it's on there. And I mean that. Somebody that gives me a whole bunch of money needs to be able to contact me, because ultimately it's his or her problem is my problem, and I doubt you'll get that from Tesla. But thank you for the suggestion. And and then just a whole bunch of Happy New Year's and whatever. And then we had lent a skid steer out to somebody that had some terrible storm damage. We had some tornadoes here, and people were saying nice things about us, which is just, who doesn't like to have people say nice things? So thank you very much. That's probably about it. If you, I'm looking for more questions. It can be product questions, technical questions. Somebody said, how about, and comments. Somebody said, how about taking a video tour of the store? Great idea. It never would have occurred to me that might be of interest to somebody. But yeah, and I'm looking for suggestions. I appreciate you taking the time to watch me ramble on. And a commitment, I'm going to say it now, a commitment, as I said a minute ago, that I'm going to make for 2024 is to have more content videos that relate directly to the product, the specifications, the usages, not the price, and I'll do price videos too, but that'll be a separate thing. Just all you ever wanted to know about a fill in the blank, Kioti DK5320 SE cab, things like that. And that way, if somebody's considering that tractor, perhaps they'll stumble on my video and fall in love with the machine, and perhaps even give me a chance to sell them something. But if not, still, I like to be an ambassador for the brand. And if you don't buy one from me, I'd hope you buy one from another competent dealer. And there's a bunch of us out there. And there's a few that aren't, but there's a bunch of us. The large majority are. Thank you for watching my video. And that's it. Thank you. Subscribe.